When I was much younger, my uncle used to come over our house, and he had the slide projector. And in it, he would put in the slides, and he would show us about his trip visiting Grandma in Arkansas or someplace like that. And we would go, oh no, not another one of these. Sometimes when I hear people doing presentations with PowerPoint, I do this. Oh no, not one of these. What I'm going to share with you is some tips that I've learned over the years doing hundreds, literally hundreds of presentations, and how to use PowerPoint much more effectively. And so I call this PowerPoint tune-up, and we're going to talk about three things. First is about the presentation, about your role in that presentation. We're going to talk about the 1-4-6 rule, what that means in PowerPoint. And finally, how you use graphics and visuals in your PowerPoint presentation. So let's first talk about the presentation part of it. Now, a lot of folks that I've found think that it is the screen, the picture, that's going to do the persuasion, the conversation that's going on in doing anything like this. Most people who do PowerPoint presentations is because they want to either convince an audience about something, relay some information, and they think it's the picture that's going to do that. Well, no, it is not. The whole thing about the presentation is you are the main event, not the slides. They are there to help support whatever it is you're trying to convey to your audience, because you want to communicate with them. Now, one of the things I found is some people, when they take these PowerPoints, they want to turn down the lights. Again, what they're trying to do is focus on the vision here rather than the person. And when you turn down the lights, they can't see your shiny face, your smiley face. You can't connect with them. You can't do the eye contact because everything is dark. So if you want to turn down the lights, turn it down behind you, but leave the lights in front of you on. And here's one of my pet peeves, is when you see a presenter starting to read your slides, guess what? It disconnects with the audience. You don't have that connection anymore. And the other thing it tells me, if a person needs to read their slides, they didn't really prepare. And so they're telling me I wasn't worth, as an audience, for them to make an effort to be good at this. Another one, the 1-4-6 rule. And this rule says you pick one main topic for each slide. And under that, you may have 4 bullet points, subtopics. And the next one is no more than 6 to 8 words. 6 is what I like working with. Keep the things simple. And I'll give you an example how this works. This is our club mission statement. The mission of Toastmasters Club is to provide a mutually supportive and positive learning environment in which each individual member has the opportunity to develop oral communication, leadership skills, and in turn foster self-confidence and personal growth. Well, one thing, if this was a big audience, this would be hard to read. It's way too many words. And the other thing, as human beings, adults, our attention span is approximately 7 to 8 seconds. It took me about 13 to 14 seconds to read this, so I lost you halfway through it. You just don't, you can't concentrate that long. So what I did is I said, well, this is the mission statement, how do I present this? And this is what I did. What is the mission? What do we do? Provide a mutually positive learning environment. Develop oral communication leadership skills. Self-confidence and personal growth. That's what we're about. And you can do it in simple words, 6 or less. You count that, you count the A, that's 7. But you do it in 6 words, you can do that and convey your message rather simply and easily to someone. In other words, using visuals. And typically, if we're trying to convince people of some information that we're trying to show them, we want to use data to convince them. And this is a very simple table. The problem with numbers is people do not visualize numbers very well unless they're an accountant or they have a degree like I do in statistics. Only those kind of people say, oh, numbers cool. But most people can't relate to that, and numbers are getting small. And this is a very simple table. 5 columns, 2 rows. Some people will have 10 columns, 10 rows, a lot of data to try to convince you. Well, the problem with that, again, is Some people can't see it. Some people can't really visualize it. So use graphs. Here's an easy way. What that data was supposed to say, the median prices are going down. That's all we wanted to say in all that data. And we can show that very simply here, where I did that. Let's see if I got my thing down here. Get this thing going. Okay, we can show that right there. Now you can put the numbers there, but you don't really have to if you don't want to. But you can put the numbers there and you can see how this visually presents the information that you want to. Now I like using pictures. Pictures are a great way to engage an audience, but the pictures by themselves won't do it. What you need is a story behind it. And these are some slides I used in the presentations I used to do years ago when I was selling property in Baja. And it went something like this. You know, Baja is just a continuation of California, Baja, California. Except the beaches are nicer. The weather is certainly a lot better. And it's certainly a whole lot more affordable. 1,000 miles long, over 2,200 miles of pristine beaches, with you hardly see anybody on it. But one of the nice things about this area is this, the Sea of Cortez between Baja and mainland Mexico. It's an inland sea, very calm, no riptides, no big waves, no big thunderstorms, just a calm sea. It looks like an ocean, but acts like a lake. It's warm almost all year round, about 70 degrees, 75 degrees. But a lot of people don't know, because it's an inland sea, it's very salty. I mean, it is really salty. And it does a couple things for you. One, it makes you very buoyant. You can't sink. I tried. And my wife tried to help me, but I couldn't sink. But one of the nice things about that is that the shrimp in the Sea of Cortez are extra big. They're extra juicy, and they are so sweet because of that salt. I mean, they are the biggest shrimp you've ever seen. Oh, those aren't shrimp, those are fish. But they do get that big. So using stories helps people visualize the message that you're trying to do along with the pictures, because the pictures won't do it. And using that twist that I used at the end just gets people's attention, and they will remember that at the end of your presentation. So to summarize, we talked about the presentation. The presentation is about you, not the slides. They are there to help you. The 1-4-6 rule. One idea per slide, maybe 4 bullet points, and up to 6 letters, 6 words per idea, and visuals and graphics. Use them to convey a point, but remember, we don't think in numbers. We don't think that way. We think in pictures. And using visuals helps us get the point across in doing our presentation. Mr. Toastmaster.